Hello, Exeter, and today on the Spotlight we have Langdon Plumber.
Out of college, so doing that, and then after that I bent over.
Pleasure to have you on show one. Langdon,
Yes.
it is a pleasure to have you on the show. I've been trying to get you here since day one.
Okay. We've been working on our calendars, a little trouble here and there, but yeah.
Just a little, but eventually you can make it happen. The stars will line up.
Yes, right.
So you are a busy man, and it looks like for a while you've been a busy man. You've been on planning board.
Yes.
You have been involved with the Seacoast School of
Technology, yes.
and you also operate a farmhouse
In Hillsborough,
that's been erected in 1780,
1785, give or take.
give or take. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Yes, I'm also a member, a commissioner on the Rockingham Planning Commission.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very active in Lions Club. And our purpose mainly is sight and hearing. And we have a program called OKS, which is Operation Kids Sight, where we screen children's eyes. We can screen a child 6 months old, nonverbal people, other situations like that, but we do screen all the children in the SAU 16 schools from grades pre-K through 5. And of course got shut down last year. We also try to get all of the child care, daycare, early childhood schooling, Montessori school type operations we can in the same service area, SAU 16. So we're looking forward to getting back to that. We're getting set up and have got the calendar on the calendar, have several schools signed up right up in the latter part of September. So I'm very excited to get back and see the children again.
So you seem like a very committed man. You're very committed to community, and you're very committed to kids.
Mm-hmm.
So what inspired this?
Well, I was an industrial arts, trained to be an industrial arts teacher to start off with. Went to Keene Teachers College back in the day. My dad was a professor. My mother had done some teaching too over the years. And working with people, I guess where it came from, I'm not sure, but I do know when I graduated from high school, I really wanted to Keene Teachers College. And because at that time I come from Michigan, so I had to take a couple tests to come in that wasn't normal for college entrance in those days, I don't think. So I was able to make that, so started there.
So why did you migrate all the way from Michigan to here in Exeter?
Good question.
And even Keene, that's a little bit of a hike from here.
Well, my dad was a professor of Oriental art at the University of Michigan, and he was from Newton, Mass. And I guess he and my mother felt they'd like to find what in the old days we call it a summer place in New Hampshire. That would be close to Newton, in New England. Somehow we ended up in Hillsborough, I'm not sure how, and that was, this is the 80th year we've owned that property. So that was in 41 that they bought it. I've been there every summer of my life. So we would travel from Michigan through Canada when you could, because you had customs to go through, of course. On the way back, we'd raise a garden, and then during the war, we raised what they called victory gardens. And we were able to get gas rationing stamps of whatever needed, so we could go from Michigan to New Hampshire to raise a garden, and then on the way back, you couldn't take, even today, you can't take vegetables and things into Canada. So we had to go down through Columbus, Ohio, and then back up towards Detroit. It was really not too much further, but. So, and also in those days, you got out of school in May, in public schools, and you didn't go back to school till after, Labor Day. So we actually came in May and went back in September. And, you know, being there and having the opportunity to do all kinds of things we did as children seemed to work out okay. So, and Keene State is there, and my mother had a friend from Hillsborough who knew Keene State. I happen to sit on the alumni board. That's another thing we didn't mention. Keene State College Alumni Association. I'm a member of that board. Just got kind of connected, enjoyed it. I mean, that's what the families did. You know, some families would go to a camp or something, or whatever the case may be, but that's what we did. In the war, you did not have a spare tire. You had to blow out, then you had to get the tire vulcanized and the tube vulcanized and patched and on the way. And I have my diary from my father that recorded that trip. The tire is still holding. It was a 3-day trip, about 800 miles. During the war, the speed limit was, I think, 35 or 40 miles an hour, so things
This
didn't
was
go
on the
fast.
highway.
This is on the highway, yes, driving across Canada, New York State, up over Vermont, the hogback, what we call from Bennington to Brattleboro, or vice versa, which are through Keene and then over to Hillsborough.
And were those speed limits strictly enforced back then, or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had the gumball machines back then. And we didn't have all the things and gadgets to play with in the car. You had to amuse yourself. So we always had license plates we'd look at, and that also was in the days when you had the Burma shave signs, which were little short poems about 4 or 5 verses, which always ended in Burma shave, which was a shaving cream. It was not a shaving soap per se. It came in a tube and it was smooth. So they said. And you know, you go through all different, and going across New York State, variety of types of farms. So if you're in potato country, it smelled a little earthy, and you get into the cabbage country, and there's all cabbages. You get into the corn, it smelled like corn. And we came on the Route 20, which still exists. And over the years, the thruway was built, and we started using thruway as it was built, and then when it was being rebuilt, we were driving on that road. But we found sometimes that the old Route 20 was good because you varied the speed, and the passengers in the car tire along with the drivers, so the different speeds helped that. You'd stop at, you know, we always had a favorite ice cream shop to stop at, or something to have lunch, and we would stop in Rochester overnight. My mother had a classmate there, so she had a beautiful large home, but we'd stop there and stay overnight. It was like a bed and breakfast kind of thing, but you know, no money was changed hands. Or tourist homes, which are now known more as bed and breakfast. And you still see in some places cabins. If you go up north in New Hampshire, you'll see some small cabins. There were cabins many times. That was pre-motel days. Mm-hmm. Then the motels came along. So, and going through customs. Here's a good one. Back in the day, when heaters were really an additional accessory to a car. You didn't necessarily go to the dealer and get a car with a heater. You would have to specify you wanted a heater in it. And that was, when you get into Canada, you had to, and you still do, you have to declare things such as a camera, or it might be, I don't know about laptops now, but that kind of thing would be there. You had to declare the heater in the car, because you could go over there, take it out, and sell it. And they wouldn't get any tax money out of it. So you had to say, I'm taking this heater, and when you left the country, that heater still better be in the car. And they watched that. You know, you hear stories about people getting too many pounds of fish or something, and customs will keep it. You're not going to get out of there. You might lose your vehicle. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, they're serious about that stuff. The place not to fool around is at the border, I'll tell you.
No funny business at the border.
So that's summertime stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Now, was there ever a distinct place that you would stop at that stands out to you still today, or may
One
still
time
be
we'd stopped at a restaurant, and these days, that's when you have the jukebox things there, but this particular place had a jukebox that would speak to you. What would you like to hear? And I'm not sure how it worked, but that was very fascinating. Also, at one time, I remember a whole string of tanks coming up. There had to be either a military facility close by, or a bivouac thing or something happening, and I just, as a child, I looked out the window and here are these tanks coming up there. Of course, the youngster, was very exciting, yeah.
Speaking of youth, let's hop over to the subject of
Sure.
the school here in Exeter. So give me the rundown on that. What started your interest in going to, or being involved with that school?
Looking for a job. And the beauty of it is, to me, is the potential is just can continue to expand. And I'm a strong believer that the public schools belong to the public and should be open to the public and should involve the public. The same things with planning board, by the way. So it shouldn't be, now with COVID, you couldn't go. You couldn't go and see your relative, for goodness sakes, That's really tough on people, because we are social animals. But, and so that, again, part of that plan, you've got students from 6 different high schools, and that takes some courage. If you think back when you were freshmen, even we'd bring junior high students in for a tour. But that means you've got to make a decision. You're going to leave your home school on this school bus, which I hate to ride kind of thing, I'm going to have to go the extra mile. I don't know what the opportunities are going to be. I'm kind of in a shell. I'm not very outgoing. Well, in 2 years, you're going to be a different person, and you'll say, that's one of the best decisions I made. And I've heard students say that many times. I remember when I was a freshman at Keene Teachers College, in the industrial arts program, we all went out front to get our big group picture taken. Well, 35 of us, big deal, And the head of the department came out and said, you know what? He said, you are a unique group. What, really? Here's a kid from Michigan. Nobody else is from Michigan. I'm a unique kid. Yeah, you chose to come to Keene Teachers College, industrial arts program. You have made a good decision. That's what I told these students here. It's up in the class. You know what? You've made a good decision. You may think I'm crazy, but I know what can happen. I've seen it. So he was there at the top of the stairs in my second meeting as I'm coming upstairs. I said, okay, to myself, something's up. What could it be? And I said, hi, Sam, what are you standing there for? He says, well, I got to tell you, you're going to run the meeting tonight. I said, oh, really? So that was my introduction to chairing a meeting. Yep, there at the planning board. So that's one of those memories you'll never forget. What, me? Yeah, okay. So, what you learn is you got to be prepared. You got to be flexible. You got to say, I don't know how to do this, but okay, how do I approach this elephant anyway? But, so I think that's maybe some kind of a skill. You got to get comfortable with what you're doing and have the confidence that maybe you're going to make a mistake. You do the best you can. I mean, that's, and I would have to say the one reason I'm with it is because I think the professionalism shown by the members of the board, their concern for the cases. We're all volunteers. We have our professions, so we use our background in some of those decisions, but no one's come on to grind an axe or do anything like that. That's the kind of thing I would drop off the board very quickly if that started happening. But we've changed people as time goes. People come and go. But there's a saying about surrounding yourself with good people, and I feel that the planning board has been that kind of experience for me. I mean, I've been chairman several times, off and on, and I enjoy doing it. I don't know why they like it, but I try to get a little levity in there. Some of those meetings get pretty serious, hard and heavy. So try to, and be a good listener, try to do that, So again, my hat's off to the planning department. I think we have some excellent people. I'm a little biased, I understand that. And you have to enjoy it anyway, because it can be really kind of boring work. I mean, I've gone to enough meetings in education you know, for the sake of meetings. Oh, my Lord, we got to go to another meeting? Yeah, and, you know, any rate. It's like sometimes going to a conference. You're not sure. You'd like to go. You're not sure what it's going to be like. I'm not sure what experiences you've had, but it's, you know, we talked about, you know, like almost like bowling with a blanket in front of the pins. You don't know what's there, but okay, I'll try it. So, and so I guess, you know, I just enjoyed doing that and hearing the different cases and being involved and trying to be a responsible citizen to make sure things are safe and sound and appropriate for the community. Not everybody agrees to everything. Don't always disagree. Our board doesn't always, it's not always a majority vote. Most of the time it is, but we'll discuss things and agree to disagree, and a vote will be taken, and that's it, one up or down. So, it's good.
Thank you, Langdon. And I think we're reaching our time, but is there anything else you would like to share?
I just love Exeter. I'm pleased to have been able to serve it. I do spend my summers in Hillsborough. But I always come back for the meetings. Personal, if I sign up for something, say I'll do it, I'll do it. If I can't do it, or if I'm smart at the outset, say no or yes or no, but you eventually learn how to say no. For a while I didn't, because that's you know, very much involved also in Christ Church. One did not mention that. Building and grounds, of course, and Seacoast Family Promise. Variety of things like that. You know, just like to assist people, and that, to me, that's community. You started back originally with the word community. So, and I think Exeter is a great community that can demonstrate that community is community, and people will help each other and step out with each other and have fun together and grieve together, and you know, just to have good family time together. So that's what I think about Exeter. Very close to my heart.
Very personal with it.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that, Langdon.
certainly. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on. All right, Exeter, you heard it. If you're interested in being in the spotlight, feel free to contact us at extvg@exeternh.gov. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.